Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host, Connie. Uh, this is Airplane. This is a donation reward for Sweet Venom. I'm sorry if I seem completely out of it right now. You guys are seeing this on Saturday. I'm recording this back on Wednesday. I just recorded my reaction to episode 5 of Symphogear, and it left me in a state. I'll leave it at that. If you hadn't seen my Symphogear reaction, I'll just tell you, it left me in a notable state. And I'm hoping that this movie lives up to being a comedy like I heard it was. It's Leslie Nielsen. He was in Dracula Dead and Loving It. I need something funny right now. It's a good thing I already planned for this to be today's movie too, because I really fucking need this right now. All I know about this movie is it's at least partially on an airplane, and there's the "I am serious and don't call me Shirley" line that comes from this. That's pretty much it. I hope this is really funny. I hope this does help me because, like I said, I am in a state. I am just. I don't know if depressed is quite a right way to put it. More in shock than anything. I kind of had a loss of sanity in that reaction. So I kind of need something to kind of bring me back, and I hope this is it. I'm just hoping it works. Sorry, let me take a drink of water real quick. The worst part is I didn't even have time to recover because I've been recording a lot of stuff today. You'll have seen back on Wednesday a lot of stuff was put up. So I didn't even have time to really recover before going straight into recording this, just because of time constraints. Yeah, like I said, I don't really know anything else about this. I don't know who else is in this. I don't know exactly when it came out. Probably the 80s, I presume. I know it's a pretty famous movie. I know a lot of people really like it, but I don't know much about it, so hopefully it lightens my mood, though. Hopefully the comedy is really good. I need to laugh right now. That will probably help a lot. Let's just get this going. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the movie. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. We are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I mean, there were some jokes in this that worked for me. There were some jokes that were really funny and good. But most of the time, it's just like, what? And there were some jokes that were very outdated, let's be honest. Which is going to happen with an older comedy like this. It's just, there's going to be some stuff that just doesn't work. And we know now that it doesn't work. It didn't work then either, but, you know, people were worse back then, so. The funniest part about this was more me just predicting shit on accident. That was funnier than pretty much anything from the actual movie. It was okay, though. It's like, it kept my attention. Nothing about it was like too terrible, because even the jokes that were like pretty bad were, it was almost kind of like making fun of those jokes in the first place. like the two who were talking jive. It's like it was kind of meant to be making fun of that idea and that kind of joke, rather than to be actually seriously just, using that. But it still doesn't really help too much, and it still was not great. Also, there was just this random one moment in the movie where all of a sudden tits. Everybody's panicking, and all of a sudden, like, some woman runs right in front of the camera with her tits bouncing around, and it's like, that's out of nowhere. Like, all right, sure. Why not? There were certain jokes that were used multiple times, um, and only occasionally it worked. Sometimes it felt like, why are you saying the same joke again? You already made that joke. It doesn't work to use it again. The problem is they tried to make too many jokes into recurring jokes. But they didn't seem to understand how to make a recurring joke. You don't just say the same line a second time in a spot and way where it doesn't work. That's not how you do a recurring joke. It's not that simple. A recurring joke has to be funny, based on the progression of it. If you're going to have a recurring joke, it has to progress and become more interesting, more unique, more exaggerated as it goes along. There was actually one good one in this one. There was one really good recurring joke, and that was, I picked a bad day to stop blank. It starts with smoking, then drinking, then doing amphetamines, and finally ends with sniffing glue. And it's like, it just progresses. It starts off with, honestly, drinking should have come first. Or did drinking come first? Maybe drinking did come first. No, I think smoking did. But drinking should have come first either way. Then smoking, then amphetamines. Sniffing glue, I would not say is worse than amphetamines, but it's so crazy as a concept that putting it at the end is the right placement for it. Either way, that was the only recurring joke that really did work, and all the other ones were just like, we're just gonna say the same thing over again. The only other one that I think came close was the we're wishing you all good luck and everything. Leslie Nielsen said, like, when they were being ready to land the plane, then right after they landed it, he came in and said it again. That kind of works because the joke they already landed, so him saying that again doesn't really make sense. There's a little humor to that, but it wasn't great. There were a lot of random bullshit moments too, like just out of nowhere, outside of just like the tits. There's this one shot where it's like, oh, there's just a random vulture in the background. All right. I mean, I get the idea. It's like, oh, we're gonna die and everything, and it's like vultures there waiting and all. I get it, but it's just like absurd. It's just absurd humor. There's also some jokes that were just like needlessly dark. Like everyone that he was telling the story to, like, was killing themselves and everything. It's just like, Jesus. It's like, why? Why is that a recurring gag you're gonna put in there? That's just like, Jesus. We don't need that. And then, like, there's also the little gag that I guess you could kind of say is a recurring gag. Every time that the one kid goes to see the pilot, he's asking him, like, really fucking inappropriate questions. That's just, like, out of nowhere and completely pedo alert level. And it's just, oh my god. some of those jokes, it's just like it was very clearly trying to be like, adult and dark and edgy and everything, and it's like some of them just didn't work because they were too dark, and it just felt out of place, like the suicide stuff, or it was just like kind of mean spirited and fucking creepy, like the pedo stuff. It's just like, no, just don't do that. That's not needed here. That's not funny. That is actively unfunny. That is actively terrifying and gross. But overall, it's like it wasn't a terrible movie. It's just it was okay. There were some funny aspects to it. There were some parts that made me laugh. There were some parts that made me jump. A couple parts that scared me. And the return of the ever famous "Why did it explode?" It's like it's been a while since I've said that, I feel, but we finally had the return, I guess. So I don't even remember the last time I said it. It's been a bit. But yeah, it's like I don't regret having seen this now. It's definitely something that I'm glad that I finally got to see. Because, like I said, the only things I knew about was that it involved an airplane, Leslie Nielsen was in it, and the one line, "I am serious and don't call me Shirley." It's like, that's all I knew about this going in. I didn't even know it was about a plane coming in for an emergency landing. I didn't even know that aspect of it. But yeah, it's like, it's just okay. The stuff that actually is funny and works does balance it out. And a lot of the stuff that is just very outdated or offensive is either definitely because of the times, or they're trying to make fun of it, but it just doesn't end up working, ends up just being offensive on its own. It's like they're trying to make fun of the people who make these jokes, but they're just kind of making the jokes. Like, there was a little too much sexual assault jokes in this, honestly, for example. It just was a little much. But again, the good stuff did help outweigh it, and it doesn't reach good territory, but it's okay. It's serviceable, but it's very definitely outdated. But tell me in the comments below, what did you think of Airplane? Let me know, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.